In every corner of the world, across time and civilization, there exists a figure who refuses to obey the rules. They are not a hero, nor a villain, nor even a benevolent god. They stand between worlds and between order and chaos, truth and deceit, creation and destruction. This figure has many names. Loki in the Norse north, Coyote on the American plains, and Anansi in the forests of West Africa. All three share one essence, the spirit of the trickster, the sacred deceiver, the one who mocks the gods, bends the rules, and finds wisdom in disorder. Through their stories, humanity sees its own reflection, clever, mischievous, rebellious, and endlessly curious. The trickster is more than a mythological character. It is a mirror of the human condition. From ancient oral traditions to modern pop culture, the trickster survives as a symbol of creativity, freedom, and subversion. Whether in Loki's cunning transformations, Coyote's comic foolishness, or Anansi's sly intelligence, the same truth remains. Chaos is not merely destruction, it is the seed of transformation. Though born in different cultural landscapes, Loki, Coyote, and Anansi all occupy the same mythological space. The boundary between the sacred and the profane Loki, from Norse mythology, is one of the most complex figures in European myth. Often described as a god of mischief, Loki defies easy classification. He lives among the gods of Asgard, yet is never fully accepted. A shapeshifter by nature, Loki can become a fish, a horse, a woman, or a fly. This ability to change forms reflects his symbolic function, to dissolve boundaries. He is both an ally and an enemy of the gods, both savior and destroyer. In Loki, the Norse imagination captured the chaos that underlies even the most divine order. Coyote, in the traditions of numerous Native American tribes, including the Navajo, Chinook, and Sioux, is both a trickster and a creator. He walks the line between hero and fool, often helping humankind while simultaneously causing trouble. Coyote steals fire for humans, brings light to the world, and sometimes even helps create the land itself. Yet his actions often backfire, revealing the folly of arrogance and impulsiveness. To the native peoples, Coyote is not evil. He is the embodiment of life's unpredictability and the lessons learned through mistakes. Anansi, the spider god of the Ashanti people of Ghana, weaves a different kind of web, one of words, stories, and wisdom. Small and fragile, he triumphs over stronger beings using intellect and cunning. In one of the most famous tales, Anansi tricks the sky god, Niame, into giving him all the world's stories, thus bringing knowledge and culture to humankind. Through Anansi, African mythology celebrates intelligence, creativity, and the resilience of the oppressed. Each of these tricksters arises from societies that understood the universe as dynamic and fluid. In their stories, the world is not divided neatly into good and evil. It is a living process where chaos and order constantly interact. In myth, the trickster is rarely static. Loki, Coyote, and Anansi act as catalysts. Their actions, however foolish or deceitful, set the world in motion. In the Norse sagas, Loki's cleverness often benefits the gods. He tricks dwarves into forging legendary treasures such as Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. Yet his same cunning leads to disaster. He fathers monsters that will one day destroy the gods. The wolf Fenrir, the serpent Jormungandr, and Hel, the ruler of the dead. Loki's deeds illustrate a paradox at the heart of the trickster's nature. Out of deceit comes creation. Out of rebellion, new possibilities emerge. Coyote likewise is both creator and fool. In one tale, he molds the shape of the world. In another, he steals the sun or brings death into existence. He teaches humankind how to live and how not to. When he acts out of curiosity or greed, his missteps have cosmic consequences. Yet these very mistakes give meaning to existence. In the mythology of the plains in the Southwest, Coyote represents the unpredictability of nature and the moral complexity of being human. Anansi, by contrast, reveals the trickster's role as a cultural hero. Where Loki and Coyote often bring destruction, Anansi brings survival. His mischief serves as a strategy for empowerment in an unequal world. His victory over Nyami, the sky god, to obtain all the world's stories is not just a triumph of intellect, it is an act of rebellion against divine hierarchy. By outsmarting the gods, Anansi democratizes wisdom, making storytelling itself a human right. Together, these myths show that the trickster is not simply a deceiver, he is the one who keeps the world alive by breaking its rules. Through contradiction, he reveals truth. Through chaos, he brings balance. The stories of Loki, Coyote, and Anansi all reach a moment of irony, when the deceiver becomes the deceived, when the cleverness that built worlds leads to downfall. For Loki, that irony turns tragic. After causing the death of Balder, the beloved son of Odin, Loki is captured by the gods and bound beneath the earth. A serpent drips venom upon his face as punishment for his crimes. Yet prophecy foretells that at Ragnarok, the world's end, Loki will break free and lead the giants against the gods, destroying the cosmos. Only for a new world to be born from the ashes, Loki thus embodies the eternal cycle. Destruction begets creation. He is both villain and midwife of renewal. Coyote's irony is more humorous but equally profound. In countless tales, his tricks backfire. When he tries to cheat death, he accidentally introduces mortality to humankind. When he seeks food, he often ends up as the meal. Yet these reversals are not punishments. They are teachings. Coyote's failures remind people that intelligence without humility leads to chaos. In native thought, even a fool can be sacred if his folly keeps the world moving and the lessons alive. Anansi, on the other hand, often escapes punishment altogether. His cleverness, though morally ambiguous, usually serves to empower the powerless. In a world where strength and authority dominate, Anansi's deceit becomes a tool of justice. His stories, carried across the Atlantic through the slave trade, evolved into a symbol of survival and defiance among enslaved Africans in the Caribbean and the Americas. The irony of Anansi is that his trickery, once a weapon of resistance, becomes a source of cultural continuity. The trickster's irony teaches that morality is not absolute cleverness can save or destroy. Rebellion can liberate or condemn. What matters is not obedience, but awareness, the understanding that chaos is an inseparable part of creation. Even in the modern world, the trickster's laughter echoes across art, literature, and popular culture. The myths have changed forms, but their spirit endures. Loki has undergone a remarkable transformation. Through Marvel comics and films, he has become a global icon, no longer just a divine mischief maker, but a complex anti-hero. This modern Loki embodies insecurity, loneliness, and the search for identity. Audiences empathize with him not because he is perfect, but because he is flawed. His struggle to find belonging mirrors humanity's own search for meaning in a fragmented world. Thus, the pop culture Loki reinterprets ancient myth through the lens of psychology and existentialism. Coyote remains vital in contemporary Native American literature. Writers such as Leslie Marmon Silko and Thomas King reimagine him as a storyteller who bridges myth and modernity. In these retellings, Coyote exposes the absurdities of colonialism, bureaucracy, and Western rationality. He represents not chaos for its own sake, but creative resistance. The ability to survive by laughing at oppression, Coyote's humor heals. His foolishness reveals truth. Anansi, too, has crossed oceans and centuries. Among the African diaspora in the Caribbean, Anansi stories evolved into folktales of wit and endurance. In modern works like Neil Gaiman's American Gods, Anansi, as Mr. Nancy, becomes a witty, sharp-tongued elder who embodies the power of narrative itself. He is the keeper of culture, reminding humanity that stories are stronger than gods, and laughter can outlive empires. Through these reincarnations, the trickster continues to play his ancient role, questioning authority, blurring boundaries, and revealing that wisdom often wears the mask of foolishness. Philosophically, the trickster survives because he represents a universal human truth. Every culture grapples with contradictions. Between good and evil, chaos and order, fate and freedom. The trickster embodies these tensions, reminding us that growth depends on disruption. Without the trickster, there can be no renewal. Without disorder, no evolution of thought. Ultimately, the stories of Loki, Coyote, and Anansi are not just ancient myths. They are psychological maps of the human spirit. In every person lies a spark of the trickster, the impulse to question, to rebel, to play. Loki teaches us to challenge authority and to see identity as fluid rather than fixed. His shape-shifting becomes a metaphor for the modern self. Adaptable, self-aware, and constantly reinventing, Coyote reminds us that making mistakes is not failure, but a necessary part of learning. His foolishness is our humility. Anansi shows that intelligence, humor, and storytelling can be weapons of survival in an unjust world. His web of stories reminds us that language and creativity are the greatest forms of freedom. In the digital age where information spreads faster than thought and truth competes with deception, the trickster archetype has never been more relevant. Today's world is filled with shifting realities, social media illusions, political spin, and endless redefinitions of truth. The modern trickster is the one who can see through the chaos, question appearances, and reveal hidden patterns. To embrace the trickster within is not to glorify deceit, but to practice intelligent subversion. The courage to laugh at authority, to dismantle falsehoods with wit, and to find clarity through contradiction. So the question is not who Loki, Coyote, or Anansi are. The real question is, where do they live within you? Are you the obedient follower of rules or the thoughtful disruptor who challenges them? Will you cling to order or dare to dance with chaos to find deeper truth? Because somewhere between laughter and rebellion, between story and silence, the trickster still spins his web, reminding us that wisdom, like a good joke, always comes with a little mischief.